Dun, 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 dun. Hey guys, let me get a cutting comb.
One of mechanics 212, second semester.
His name was Ray Money.
All right, so today's client came in, and I'll put her before pictures on my page, and then we'll do an after picture. So she's not prone to doing her own hair, right? Okay. And she came in today just wanting to start, her hair care regimen, just get her hair back in shape. So she booked an appointment with me, came in, and we did a corrective relaxer. A lot of people ask me, what is a corrective relaxer? And let me turn this TV down. For those who like to relax at home, for those who go to stylists who they don't typically offer hair care services and stuff like that, or your hair has been under processed, you have relaxed, unrelaxed hair going down the same strand, that is when we do what we call a corrective relaxer to fix the areas that have not been relaxed, that should have been relaxed, because guess what happens when you don't? They end up breaking. They start to break, they start to shed, they start to do all kind of stuff. Hey, Salt. So we did that today and evened out everything in regards to relaxed and unrelaxed hair. So in here, if you notice, she has a lot of breakage. So this hair is very short compared to this hair. And then her hair over on the top, of course, is longer. So that tells me that, number one, she wears a lot of ponytails. Number two, she probably sleeps on the back of her head. And guess what? Hair is trained. It's a thing of habit. So what you do the most is what your hair remembers. And of course, exactly what it did was break exactly where she put the tension, exactly where she sleeps. It's no different from a baby. When a baby sleeps on the back of their head, guess where they lose the hair the most? The back of their head. And vice versa. Not all the time, but in her case, yes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fix her haircut, which she does not want to lose a lot of her hair. So we've come in agreement. She didn't want me to cut anything at all. So we are in a good place. We came to agreement that we're going to let go of the mullet part of her haircut, because I'm going to just turn you a little bit here. I'm not showing you her face. The size of her hair, she's at about a bob. She's at a healthy bob length. And we're able to grow it from there. So I'm not a believer of cutting off all the hair to grow it back. If it can be saved, I am definitely willing to save it. So in her case, we're going to be at a happy medium, and we're going to give her a bob cut. Okay, and then from there, we'll have our hair care regimen. She'll know exactly what we're doing. And going forward, this hair is going to fill out, thicken up, and get longer, but in a healthy way. So what we're going to do now is cut her hair. And a lot of you, if you follow my page, you notice that I do a lot of clipper cutting when it comes on to bobs. The reason why I do the clipper at the beginning when it comes on to bobs versus the shears, which I'm not against either one. I can do either or. I can use a razor and do the same thing. But the clippers gives me a more precise line, and it's a precise controlled line. With shears, you want to remember that whatever direction your arm is pointed or your hand is pointed, if you're not proportioned or, level, you're going to get a misshaped bob. That's the reason why I like to use the clippers, because I can move quickly but be very precise and then go back through with my shears and clean it up. So that's what we're going to do. All right, took down for me. Now you're welcome to section her hair off for the actual bob cut. For me, I'm going to do a little bit what we call of a different sectioning. So I'm going to turn you this way just a little bit. So if you notice, I parted her from here to here. This is what we call a customized cut, only because we're masking some issues to highlight others. And I don't want to take away from the hair that I have to help with my masking and fixing of the cut, to give the illusion that her hair is just fine, so that as we're going forward, it will grow in the way that I need it to. So at that point, I can take better care of it. So my partings are going to be a little bit different from the basic Cosmo School partings or the Milady book partings. It's a little bit different than normal because I'm doing a customized cut. If I'm doing a basic haircut, then you can follow your guidelines, ear to ear, nape to neck, or nape to crown, or all that good stuff. I'm not doing that. We're doing a customized cut, so this is a little bit different. So for the clipper, I'm using the Wall Magic Clip Cordless Clipper. I got this at the hair show and absolutely love it. And for those who've asked me, what is this that I put on her? This is a cutting vest. It allows you to have an even canvas so that you can cut. Some of them come with lines to help you with a guide of where the actual line is on the hair. I don't need the lines. I've been doing this long enough that I can use my eyesight and do it. And if you notice, her hair is broken here. I am not cutting her up to here. I am merely cutting down at the nape of the neck so I can have a somewhat guide to then go through and customize her cut and fix what we need to fix and mask what we need to mask. All right, my dear. So I need you to have your feet straight now. Good? Okay, sit up straight for me. She's short, so her feet don't actually touch the ground, which is fine. Sit back for me. And then you want to make sure that your cutting vest is literally pulled to the back of the neck. Sorry, my mom, I'm going to keep touching your breast, okay? Tilt down for me. So I'm going to use my cutting comb. This is a YS Park cutting comb, but you can use whatever cutting comb you choose. And I'm just going to make sure that my hair is even. So I'm going to step behind my ring light here because I need to be able to see my cut, and then I'll let you guys be able to see what I'm doing, and I can work through my ring light. So I'm not going anywhere up here. I'm only making my guide literally at the nape of the neck. Now, if you're not comfortable cutting with a clipper, you don't have to. You can, of course, use your shears. I'm comfortable with my clippers, and I only use it to start my guide. I literally use my clippers and do just this right here. After this, I can customize and I can use my shears, and I can really be creative at this point with my cut. So for my shears, I'm using my 7-inch Japanese steel shears. Well, I think these are 6-inch. These are 6. No, these are 7s, yeah. So I'm gonna have you tilt down for me. So we've created our guide, okay? And then I'm just gonna go through, and I'm only working with the hair that is behind her ear. The hair that is in front of the ear will be over directed to create an asymmetrical line, but I'm only working with the hair that is behind her ear right now. I'm not doing any fancy techniques. I'm literally just cutting my line. And the only reason why you see my hand like this, because that's not really a comfortable way of cutting, and it's not a safe way of cutting, only because I'm trying to show you guys on live, but I can tweak myself for that. So with me using the clippers to create my guide, it has made it very easy for me to keep a straight line and still be able to go back in and fine tune and give her definition and volume naturally. So now my job is going to be to blend this area and then fix her front to give her a little more face shaping and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to work on. All right, tilt down for me. So whenever you're doing any type of cutting, you want to make sure that your client's feet are always straight down on the floor. They are sitting upright. Their hands are not crossed, because you are changing the elevation of the shoulders with every movement that you make with your body. The elevation of your shoulders change, and then guess what it does? It moves your haircut too. So raise your shoulders up for me. You have just changed her haircut. Sit back for me. You've done it again. Raise this shoulder. You've elevated the haircut. Raise that shoulder. You've elevated the haircut. So this is why, go ahead and relax. I always tell the client to relax, hands down, feet straight to the floor, sit up straight in the chair, and then sit back. Because now I'm at a level playing ground, and then I have my cutting vest to even out the fact that I'm doing a haircut. Tilt forward for me just a little bit. All right, so we're gonna start back here. Once again, we are doing a customized cut. So this hair that's right here, I'm actually going to blend and cut out most of it. So you can do notching. If you want to do a blunt cut, you can. I don't like blunt lines when I'm trying to do custom cuts for clients, because I'm trying to blend and hide an area of trouble. So that's why I am not doing straight lines. Now, if you notice, when I'm doing my haircut, I am going almost like a sphere. The hair is not a box. The head is the shape of an orange. You do it just like you would do an orange. When you are cutting, you are doing it like you are peeling slices, because the head is not square. The head is not like this. This is how you create lines. Okay, so you always think of the head as an orange when you're doing a haircut. So just like that. Now we have some hair right here. I'm not going to mess with that just yet. I'm really just focusing on the back of the head. But I'm making sure that I'm incorporating everything so I can see where I'm having the areas of me having to blend. Turn down for me. All right, so here is where we have the trouble. There's a big gap between the two. So I am actually going to do a blunt cut here because I want to go ahead and remove that excess hair. And I'm going to do that for everything that is in the nape of the neck. And that will blend out the area where her hair has broken off. Now, if you want it to be feathered, you can. I don't want it to be feathered down there. I actually want it to be a blunt line. And then I'm going to go back through and I'm going to clean it up again. All right, so on this side, if you notice, I am going to push the hair behind her ear. The easiest way to get an asymmetrical haircut that blends is over directing the hair from the front of the face and pushing it behind the ear. Once you pull it behind the ear, you're going to now follow that same line from your guide and you will cut it straight across. You can also make it more asymmetrical. It'll give you a deeper line. In her case, I'm trying to blend what she already has, so I'm not going to do that. And I've already evened her off. All right, tilt down for me. So for back here, once I'm finished, I'm going to go and actually make it a little more of an A. Once I figure out what areas in the front I'm trying to tweak. I always do that part last only because I'm working with hair that's broken. So I'm kind of creating a haircut as I go and just making this work for her without taking off too much. So you don't want to be too scissor happy too quick. Now for the front of the face, I'm turning it just like that, okay? For the front of the face, she has a good length of hair. So we're working with it as a bob. So I'm only gonna just kind of clean up the ends that are split. Don't forget, split ends, you can try your hardest to save them. They are going to end up splitting up the shaft and you're gonna lose more hair than you need to. So you do need to start trimming those split ends away, but also try not to change the length or lose your length in the meantime. So don't overcut. A big rule of thumb is if you cut once, you check your cut, don't cut twice. If you have to cut twice, then you need to be mindful that you've already cut once and you'll get over happy with it. All right, tilt down for me. So you guys see here has kind of thinned out, which is what I wanted. And I needed to blend it. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna give her a little bit more of an A back here, but I'm not gonna take away from the fact that we're trying to save as much hair as possible. Tilt forward for me. So what I've done is I kept my length towards the back here, towards the front, and I just basically transitioned myself back into longer hair. So I'm not taking away from the length in the front of her face, but I am fixing the back part because you do need to blend your haircut. Your haircut needs to blend. That is the biggest thing. And then we're gonna do the same thing over here, pushing her hair or directing her hair behind her ear. And you just want to make sure that you smooth it. You don't want it to be bumpy. You want your haircut to be as clean as possible. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And we'll pull that towards the front. And we're going to fix here. Now you are welcome to use your shears at this point. I don't need to. I'm just cleaning it up. And if you're comfortable and you have a steady hand, you can do it with your clippers. All right, guys. So haircut wise, haircuts don't have to take 9 hours. Okay, we've blended it. Everything is blended. She now has volume naturally, and she has a good haircut. So let me turn her this way because I want you to see her haircut here. She actually has the treble area blended and covered. I'm just stroking your face. She has her treble area blended, so you don't know that it was a treble area. We left as much length as we possibly could in the front. And then when it comes on to her bangs, for this part, at the end of the haircut, if I need to tweak anything or when I'm styling, I can do that as I go through. But for now, I'm going to leave it where it is. You don't want to become scissor happy when you're trying to do a customized haircut, because then you'll end up overcutting and now you're trying to fix something that was not a problem in the first place. So we're going to style her and then get her out of here. So let's start with some styling. So everybody likes to ask what hairspray I use. I either use Sebastian Shaper Plus or I use Pravana Super Shape. In her case, I'm going to use the Shaper Plus because it's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit lighter than the Super Shape, but I like both of them. Don't come here looking like a star. Took down for me. So we're just going to bump her really quick. My clients are awesome. They come early. Especially the one that's always late. Alright, so I'm using for my iron. Is it on? Is this thing on? This is the Babyliss Ceramics Extreme. It's a good iron. It's really cost effective actually. And it leaves a nice shine on the hair, so I'm going to use that. So we're just going to bump her hair really quickly. You don't have to really do too much when it comes to bobs. Bobs kind of can work either way, whether it's really, really curled, which I don't like. And then I'll show you a fast way to curl a bob. If you do vertical partings, you can get volume really, really quickly, and you'll cover more ground quickly. With bobs, you don't want them to be, unless it's like a blunt cut bob and you're trying to be really, really precise with where it lays and all that stuff. For these kind of bobs, I don't want them to lay with precise partings and create lines and all that. I actually want it to have movement, so you can curl it in the vertical partings or diagonal partings and cover more ground and still get that volume as well. Let me take this out. So for the cutting vest, you can get those at the professional store. You can get the cutting vest on Amazon. I've really seen them everywhere. People never really used to use them, but cutting vests have been out for quite some time. So if you notice, I'm curling vertically, but it's still a horizontal parting. You're hot? I am. Let me turn this down. So if you guys notice, her cut is layered from the treble area down. So it blends very well. And you'd never know that she actually had broken hair until I show you the before and after, when I put up the fixes and what we did for the regimen and stuff like that on my profile. Alright, let's see. So we're gonna finish the back out. So healthy and shiny. Oh, thanks. That's our goal. We're trying to get her healthy. So I'm still doing vertical curling just to create volume and also cover more ground more quick. Did I say it right? Quickly. Ugh. Quickly. I know the hounds are ready to get me. Oh, girl, you don't know how to speak. All right, tilt down this way for me. So with her bob, because her front is a little weaker than it needs to be, we're going to actually push both sides behind her ear. Only because I don't want it to appear that you can see straight through her hair, and we're trying to preserve the length. At this point, she can wear it down, but we're trying not to add any hair just yet, because the goal is to get her hair healthy and ready for us to be able to do that going forward. So yes, we all want that weave, just add it, but if you're going to defeat the purpose, then why do it? What state do you live in? I need to come with my hair done. I'm in Florida. All right. You okay? Okay. So, if you notice, the front of her hair is blah. It's just there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer the front. Are you okay with the camera? Okay. I'm going to layer the front of her face. And then I'm going to frame her face a little bit and then layer her hair in the front so it's not so blah. Okay? All right. So that's funny. She's about to freak out in the chair because she didn't want me to cut this hair.
Yeah, I'm like, eh.
You know, I'm just layering it slightly, guys. We're trying to protect as much as we can. But you still have to get the hair that's split. You can't just leave it. And a trick to be able to keep the length is when you direct the hair, you're going to direct it all the way back. I guess that's a 90 or maybe a 180. And you'll cut that off. But you're keeping the length at the same time. So this would be a 90. And then I'm going to take it up at 90. Up again at 90. And then you can over direct it as well, and that will give you a little bit of layering without taking too much off. So cute. Thank you. Let's see, your hair is so cute.
Thank you.
See, she's a trooper, guys, because listen, when she came in today, she was like, listen, don't cut anything off. I don't want to trim. And, you know, I'm very stubborn, so I listened, but I didn't listen. And I had to kind of like coerce her into letting me trim it this much. And then we got here, so I'm proud of her. Thanks. What's the name of your spot? All of that's on my profile, babe. All right, so for the bangs, you can actually over direct them and do the same vertical partings, and that will create feathering in the face. That's the easiest way to get feathers. So you over direct and you curl in the direction away from where you want the curls to be. Just like that. Easy, easy. Feel like I'm in beauty school. Yes, you're in beauty school. Elite beauty school. Okay, so you have two choices of the comb that you want to use. You can use this one, which is, either one is $1. I mean, it's more by choice. This one is going to give you a little more definition. This one will kind of space your feathers out a little bit more. And also with finer textured hair, I do not like to use this comb because it really takes away the curl. So I'm going to use that. So we're going to spray her with a little bit of Elite Gloss. Gloss Me is the name. Okay, and then we're going to use the wide side of the comb and comb through it. And then for this part, same thing. For you to be able to get feathering, tilt up for me. When you feather, stay just like you. You're going to rake it back and then push forward. That's how you get feathers. Yes, it looks like I'm pushing her head, but I'm not. I'm pushing her hair while pushing her head. I'm sorry. I laugh at my own jokes. I know, I'm good. But yeah, so we're going to use that just to kind of give her some feathers towards her face. Now, we can leave the length towards the front if we want to. or tilt up from me. Or if I wanna direct it really into her face, and then I can push it behind her ear, like such, so she still has both looks. So she can do it either way. In this case, we're gonna bring it forward. But this is the reason why you want to layer, because it creates dimension without you working very hard. And you don't want to make your client have a blonde haircut. So that's where we are, guys. You survived a whole cleanup cut, a corrective cut, and corrective relaxer. Look at you. She feel good, guys, because listen, when I tell you when she came in, she's like, okay, Miss Krista, I don't want to cut nothing off. I don't think I want to trim. And I'm looking at her like, you getting a trim, okay? That's not really an option. You're getting a trim. So this is the finished product of her haircut. Took down for me. So she still has her layering. She still has length, but it's full compared to where we started. If you recall where we started, it was very just there. It was really just there. That's what I call it. So we're going to use a little bit of hairspray right here in the front. I'm not going to put any edge control because edge control will separate her hair, and her hair is really fine. Thank you. So it's up this way. So you can't really use edge control on everybody. My client is being very disrespectful. Oh, she over here on the live chat. And her appointment's not till 2 o'clock. I have 6 whole minutes. I have 6 whole, not my problem. She's like, I gotta go back to work at 4. Clients are so disrespectful, y'all. I deal with the most bougie people on the planet. I'm quiet. See, you hear she was quiet. This one has been with me for like 20 years. So she has no act right, guys. Alright, so yep, we are back. So now she's able to grow her hair out and just keep on with the regimen, and once this bob grows out, she'll be in a great place. But all right, guys, so I need to get on to this really disrespectful client that I have sitting over here in the couch. She doesn't have anything else to do, but she's rushing me. So I'm gonna I'll post a before and after picture on my page of the regimen and everything that we did with her hair to get her to this point, so you guys can see the beginning, and then of course now you see the end. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. You know, Vanessa.